Good evening. This is Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends. It's Monday, October 2nd, 2006, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at some stock ideas for tomorrow. So hopefully we can find something in there that'll make us some good money. I've got the S&P 500. The spider's up on the screen right here. And again, I'm going to repeat myself what I said earlier that, the market got a little bit extended. We've seen some sideways corrective action the last 2-3 days. And now the bulls seem to have given up, at least for a little bit, and some selling came in today. And I would just chalk it up to a little bit of profit taking. However, I do think we're probably going to see a little bit more weakness, but it's not something that should really impact the markets too deeply, at least not yet. There's no technical evidence that it's on the verge of any major type of breakdown. We've got these higher highs and higher lows in the S&P 500 still, so perhaps we're going to head down towards 132, maybe a little bit lower. But for now, that's all we have. That's all the information we have. But I think that there's going to be better opportunity again on the short side with individual stocks than will be with the overall market. Looking at the Qs again real quickly, kind of the same thing. We're pulling back down towards the intersection of the 20 and the 200-day moving average. That's just under the $40 level. And realistically, I think we're going to break below about this level, 39.5, before we consider any real damage being done. But even then, I think that this low here that comes into play down near the 50-day moving average will also be a potential level of support. That's getting way ahead of ourselves right now. Let's take it one day at a time and look at some individual stocks here. First up, Auxilium Pharmaceuticals is the name of this company, symbol AUXL. And on this chart, we're looking at the daily time frame. Here we see when I back it up to the weekly time frame, that we've seen a real nice breakout here recently with this prior level of resistance looking like it's starting to act as support. We saw a big volume breakout followed by low volume consolidation above that level. Looking at a monthly time frame, you can see that the stock is indeed trading at all-time highs. So stocks that hit new highs continue to hit new highs, and we'll look for that further evidence of that. What I want to do on AUXL is I want to see it take out this level right here. Once the stock can trade above $10.45, that's where I'm going to consider purchasing the stock. I would then put my stop at about $10.23. My target then would be up near about $11.50 a share. So I'm just looking for a retest. We could call it $11.40, but looking for a retest of that level. And again, the play is to buy it on strength here. In fact, all of tomorrow's stock picks will be to buy them on strength, including 8x8, symbol EGHT. And let me change the scaling on this so we can see what's happening in 8x8 a little bit more clearly. You can see that this stock has broken past an important level of resistance here recently. And you might even look at this and say, is that a shoulder, a head, and you could even call that two shoulders. Bottom line is, though, the height of this pattern, we could take it, just eyeballing it from 70 cents up to about $1.05. We could say that's 35 cents. So if we add 35 cents to $1.05, that breakout point, that will give us a target up near $1.40, which also, when we look at $1.40 on a weekly time frame, what you're going to see here is that that's also where we get the declining 200-day moving average right in here. So there's two good reasons to think that that might become a price target. So our price target initially is going to be $11. I'm sorry, $11, $1.40. I was still thinking of the prior stock. The way I'm going to participate in this stock likely is that I want to buy it above $1.12. Above $1.12, I think it makes a higher high, and we've got these higher lows in here. I would then protect myself with a stop at about $1.07, so risking only a nickel on this. And again, I'm looking for about $1.40 of upside. So I think that there's, maybe 28 cents of upside, and to risk a nickel to make 28 cents makes for a heck of a good risk-reward ratio on EGHT. Next up, we've got PWER is the name of the company, symbol PWER, and you can see what I'm looking at in here is this recent heavy volume as the stock rallies up towards this short-term level of resistance, followed by a little bit of consolidation on lighter volume. Now we've got a little bit of resistance for the stock. I want to buy it probably above $7.26. My stop would then, well, first what I want to do is, here's how I want to play this one. I want to see it pull back a little bit deeper. I want to see it get down to about $7.10 again. Once it pulls back to $7.10, I want to buy it above these highs, above $7.26. My stop would then go at 7.04, so I'm going to risk 22 cents. And looking at a weekly time frame, I think the stock can go test these levels over here, just above $8 a share. So about $8.25 is my target for PWER. And again, another stock to buy on strength, as is our last one, which is UTStarcom. We've looked at this one numerous times. Haven't been involved in it yet. Who knows? Maybe this will be the next AZPN in stock that we've looked at numerous times and finally does something for us. Anyways, UTSI, I think the price target is about 10.25, 10.5. And the way I'd like to play this one is above $8.99. Now, it pulled back pretty deep here at the end of the day, so it's not real likely that it's going to get there. But if for some reason it should get above this $8.99 level, that's where I think I would consider purchasing it. I'd put my stop at about $8.83, right around, well, actually $8.87. I'm looking at my notes here, and it looks a little messy. So $8.87, and that, again, makes for a nice risk-reward as well. ANDE, this is Anderson's Corp, and this is a stock that I want to look at on as a short sale candidate. You can see why. We've got all these declining moving averages, including that green 50-day moving average, which is declining. Looking at a weekly time frame, you see this is, had a big speculative run up. It's an ethanol play, and now the steam seems to be getting let out of the stock. Now, we saw a little bit of a sell-off here late in the afternoon today. So what I want to do is I want to see a rally up towards that 5-day moving average. I want to see the stock rally up to $33.45 before I consider selling it short. Once it rallies up to $33.45, I then want to look for weakness and sell it short below $33.35. Okay, so I'm looking for a rally to $33.45, and then if maybe it goes up to $33.60, I have no clue. But as it comes back down, I want to sell it short below $33.35. My stop would then go at $33.60. And as far as a downward target goes, I think you're looking at a retest of this low here, which is about 31.5. We'll just be a little bit more conservative and say we're looking for a move down to $32 a share. So that would give us an opportunity of about $1.35 and risk of about 25 cents if it comes together as I'm seeing it here. Next up, CONR. And I've just realized I've been forgetting to put my disclaimer on here. So remember, these ideas are just ideas. Once you decide to take action in them, they become your ideas. Doesn't matter where you got them from. You're the one who buys them. You're the one who has to live with the results. And CONR is the next stock I'd like to sell short. And this stock here, you can see that it's broken this uptrend. The stock came public about 2.5 years ago, back late 2000 and I don't think these are right. It says 2006, then 2004. Looks like late 2004 it came public. Anyways, the stock is breaking down in here. It broke down with some big volume, probably some news in there. Hasn't really been able to rally at all. And that shows me that the buyers aren't really looking for this thing to recover. And the sellers, the longs in here, I would be thinking are getting tired of its inability to bounce. It found a little bit of resistance along that declining 10-day moving average. The 10 is below the 20, the 20 is below the 50. They're all declining. This stock looks like a train wreck ready to happen here. And I think the way you want to sell it short is on weakness below $33.45. I'm sorry, below $33.35. But I first want to see it get up to $33.40. Why am I saying 33? I think, anyways, I'm still thinking back to the other stock. Here's what I want to do. Let's start over. On CONR, C-O-N-R is the symbol here, and the name of the company is Conor Medsystems. What I'd like to do is I'd like to sell the stock short below $23.35. Once it gets below that level, I then price my stop up above $23.62. So a risk of not quite 30 cents, about 27 cents. And on the downside, I'm looking initially for a test of the $22.50 to $22 level, and going back to this area. But again, on a bigger time frame, I think this thing could be setting up for a pretty disastrous fall, maybe down towards 21. That's not that big of a disaster, but maybe you get lucky with it. Next up, DRQ. This is a company called Dril-Quip, and you can see here on the daily time frame, it's finding some resistance along this 200-day moving average. Looking at the weekly time frame, like a lot of oil-related companies, it looks like it's made a big top, and it's rallied up on light volume now here on the daily time frame up to this prior level of support, which now looks like it's potentially acting as resistance. Now, we saw a little bit of a hard sell-off here in the afternoon, so I don't like to sell short on that. What I want to do is just wait for a slight rally, just up to about $67.15. If it can rally up to $67.15, then I want to sell the stock short below $66.75. Okay, so it has to show strength up towards that 67.15. Then I want to sell it short below 66.75. My target would then be $63 a share, and that's based on looking at this bigger picture. You're just kind of looking at this area right here. This is actually about 62.50, but I think it can easily drop down in towards this level, $62.50 to $63 a share. A couple other stocks to look at on the short side are SIRF and TEVA. How you want to play those is up to you. Thanks for listening.